Stories and books evolve. This posting is written by the unknown author. This is unscripted and copyrighted. Life evolves, and so do stories. The Keeper's Gift, a novel. That's my first book. It's an adventure about a young man going out in the world, what he sees, what he experiences. The Keeper's Gift has the usual pages, a little less than 600, correction 500. That was my first book, The Keeper's Gift. King Rat's Memoir. That's my second one. It's a biography. Most authors don't think about writing a biography, but they don't. Few authors do, especially unknown authors. Halfway through in writing this book, I noticed there's something odd. It was a tawdry life. I learned the word tawdry. I thought I knew it, but I learned it in writing this book. I wrote it because I knew that I believed some relatives, somebody in the future would want to know what happened and who were these people. So I wrote the story. Somebody has to get back to tell the tale. I knew I wasn't going to get back, so the book becomes the messenger. King Rat's Memoir. I also noticed the life had there was a certain race going on. There was some kind of a contest. King Rat's Memoir. My third book, In Voyeurs Time, is poetry. I discovered poetry is like the subconscious. If somebody asks you, what'd you do yesterday? You say, well, I went to town. That's your subconscious. Your conscious, correction. But your subconscious sees it entirely different. Your subconscious, one of the ways it would see it is, I rode a gray road on a bright day to a noisy parking lot. It's not a very large book. The book didn't evolve, but the poetry part did. I'm still writing poetry today. And it's poetry done up in the free flow style. My third book. Now this is where it might be getting interesting for you. The King's Code. This is an interesting book. It's one of a kind. It's an adventure mystery. It's nonfiction. Years ago, I discovered petroglyphs in California, and for over 30 years I pursued to figure out what they were. Half of them I knew looked awfully familiar, the other half not so much. I soon discovered it was a map. There's a drawer here for artifacts. The pages are blank. After discovering the theoretical image, the theoretical story, I decided not to write it. I didn't want the place to turn into a parking lot. There's all your suns, your compass, your angles, your code, and a topographical map. Here's tools arranged in a mysterious way, and what they did. Here's the weapons of the period. It went on over 30 years. It went on over 500 years in the United States. There weren't any big armies, but there was one soldier possibly involved. The King's Code. This is a book, one of a kind, unfinished. It was solved theoretically. And how do I know it was solved? Well, for the first time in my life, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I didn't talk to anybody for 3 weeks. The King's Code. That's the fourth book. My fifth book is The Corrugated Box Machine, The Science and Technology. I worked in the field of the box manufacturing for a number of years. And one day I discovered that the boxes were still, and the machine was still running in my head, making boxes. Box machine. Here again, it's one of a kind. It's done up in the shadow box design. It will make a box. Here's the science cards. This is what a